In a move that has left fans speechless and insiders alarmed, a highly anticipated musical collaboration between BTS's Jimin and Jungkook, rumored to be nearly complete, was abruptly halted. Not by scheduling conflicts, not by artistic differences, but, as industry whispers grow louder, by the direct intervention of Bang Si Hyuk himself. Why would one of the most powerful figures in K-pop deliberately stop what could have been the most monumental duo release of the decade? The question hangs in the air like an unfinished note. What project could command this level of secrecy and, more disturbingly, this level of control? Speculation is now erupting across fandom platforms and music forums worldwide. Initially dismissed as idle rumor, murmurs of a blocked subunit comeback between the youngest BTS members, Jimin and Jungkook, have gained alarming credibility. According to anonymous sources allegedly close to HYB's upper echelon, the collaboration was not only real, it was blocked at a pivotal moment. They didn't want it released, one post stated ominously, citing a source from within the corporate structure. But who are they? And what, exactly, were they afraid of? For years, the idea of a Jimin Jungkook unit has electrified fans. Their vocal chemistry, refined, organic, emotionally potent, has been visible in everything from casual harmonies in behind-the-scenes content to formal performances like We Don't Talk Anymore. Even as soloists, their trajectories have soared. Jungkook dominating global playlists, Jimin shattering emotional and chart records alike. Together, their synergy is not merely powerful, it's combustible. SOY halt that fire. Allegations have begun to crystallize around one name, Bang Si Hyuk. While no official documentation or comment exists, nor is it expected, the pattern many fans cite is disturbingly clear. Jimin and Jungkook, two of BTS's strongest vocalists and closest confidants, were reportedly working on something big. Hints dropped in live broadcasts. Studio sessions whispered about. Even offhand comments like Jungkook's, "I'm working on something with Jimin Hyuk," suddenly feel like puzzle pieces fans are racing to reassemble. But now those hints are recontextualized as ghost notes from a song that may never play. Some insiders suggest that the reasoning isn't rooted in creative friction, but in something more strategic or darker. Control, fear, power dynamics. When artists start to move independently of a label's blueprint, it makes certain executives nervous. One anonymous K-pop industry reporter remarked during a recent broadcast. The implication? A Jimin Jungkook comeback wasn't just powerful. It was uncontrollable, and in a system built on predictability and structure, unpredictability, even in the form of organic artistic success, is often viewed as a threat. That suspicion is further fueled by the timing. Right before their military enlistment, such a comeback would have created shockwaves in the industry. Two of the world's most beloved artists joining forces before going silent? It would have redefined emotional impact, media cycles, and fan engagement. Perhaps too much. Perhaps that very intensity, its timing, its emotion, its independence, was precisely why it had to be stopped. Jimin and Jungkook, by their very existence, disrupt the norms. Their connection is unscripted. It is not a concept crafted in a marketing room. It is the gentle glance in a chaotic rehearsal. It is the name drop in solo interviews. It is the unspoken understanding of two performers who grew up under the same spotlight, carried the same weight, and never needed to rehearse their connection. And that's what terrifies a system that thrives on control. HYB, which has previously been accused by fans of micromanaging BTS's solo trajectories, now finds itself in the crosshairs of global scrutiny. Fans have long noted the disproportionate attention certain members receive compared to others. Jimin, despite breaking numerous records, was allegedly given minimal domestic promotion. Jungkook's rumored 3D performance was reportedly canceled at the last minute by higher-ups. At what point does this stop being coincidence? What makes the alleged suppression of this project even more infuriating to fans is not just the possibility that it exists, but that it was ready, not in progress, not being discussed, ready. A complete body of work, stripped of release not because of quality issues, but because someone decided the world wasn't ready. Or perhaps they decided they weren't ready for the consequences that a collaboration between Jimin and Jungkook isn't just another BTS subunit. It's a cultural event, a redefinition of pop synergy, the kind of release that recenters the spotlight without effort, the kind that exposes the arbitrary nature of corporate orchestration. In their hands, even a demo becomes a movement, as if this project was indeed terminated from the top. What does that say about the state of artistic freedom under HYB? Are we witnessing not just a missed opportunity, but an intentional erasure? Fans don't think this is mere corporate strategy. They suspect ego, fear, and control are at play. The idea that Bang Si Hyuk, once praised for his visionary leadership, might be resisting the organic rise of two of BTS's strongest individual voices is rapidly becoming a deeply unsettling narrative, and not without precedent. Observers have pointed out his silence around Jimin's solo work, while speaking openly about producing for Jungkook. Does this suggest a preference? Or something worse? If this collaborative project exists, and if it truly was suppressed, the implications are enormous. It would mean that one of the most anticipated musical moments in recent pop history was not denied by fate or schedule, but by design. BY fear of its success. BY fear of its independence. BY fear of what happens when two artists rise outside the confines of pre-approved narratives. The question now is no longer, was it real? It is, how long has this been happening? Across the world, fans are mobilizing. Hashtags like #LetUsCreate and #FreeJimin and Jungkook have overtaken timelines. Digital art for fictional albums, titled Undelivered, Unheard, Unwritten, are trending. Some fans are even filing open letters to HYB, demanding transparency. One viral post reads, "You gave them the world, then locked the door when they tried to give it back." And yet, the most haunting question remains, what kind of song was it? Was it a ballad? A quiet reflection of their growth and bond? Was it upbeat, echoing their shared stage energy? Was it a whisper of goodbye before enlistment, or a promise to return? Did they fight for it? Or did they, in the end, have no say? For many fans, the silence is the answer. The smile Jimin gave in a 2023 interview when asked about future collaborations is now seen in a different light. Not as a tease, but as surrender. The tone in Jungkook's voice when he said, "someday," now feels more like mourning than anticipation. Perhaps the cruelest truth in this entire situation is that Jimin and Jungkook themselves may no longer believe the project can ever see daylight. Not because they lack ambition, but because someone decided their bond was a variable too wild to control. That the intimacy they carry, so beloved by millions, didn't fit into the spreadsheet, and so the song, if it exists, remains unheard. Not because it wasn't ready, but because the world wasn't allowed to be ready. And in that silence, fans are now reading between every line, analyzing every moment, breaking down every interview as though it were a crime scene. What was said? What wasn't? Did Bang Si Hyuk's absence from any public mention of a Jimin and Jungkook project speak louder than any confirmation could? What's truly missing here isn't just a song. It's trust. Trust that organic artistry will be honored. Trust that the artists we support will be allowed to support each other. And perhaps, most devastatingly, trust that their voices won't be muted the moment they start to sing in harmony. So now we wait. Not for a marketing rollout, not for an official teaser, but for a leak, a demo, a whisper from someone inside willing to defy the silence. Because if the collaboration was as real as insiders claim, then it isn't just a missed opportunity, it's a stolen moment in history. And how many more of those have we already lost without ever knowing? Until then, fans remain on edge, not just hoping for the song, but fearing what its absence reveals about an industry increasingly at war with the very authenticity that made it great. Because if two of the most beloved artists in the world can't even release a duet without fear of suppression, then what does that say about creative freedom in K-pop? And what else What else are we being kept from hearing? If the song is out there, locked away on some drive or studio shelf, fans deserve more than silence. They deserve the truth. And Jimin and Jungkook deserve to be heard, not controlled, not delayed, heard. The silence surrounding the alleged halted collaboration between Jimin and Jungkook is no longer just an artistic mystery. It has become a socio-cultural phenomenon. As millions of fans search for clues in fragments of live streams, vague interview responses, and indirect posts on social media, one unavoidable question now looms. Is this entire narrative grounded in truth? Or is it a carefully constructed illusion meant to manipulate public emotion and attention? To those who believe that such a collaboration was real and actively obstructed, the emotional weight is undeniable. The heartbreak expressed in countless posts, threads, and videos reflects a profound sense of betrayal, not only toward corporate gatekeepers, but also toward a system that seems to stifle what should be an organic celebration of artistry. But we must ask ourselves, as rational observers in the digital era, what if this is nothing more than a perfectly engineered rumor? A theory birthed by emotional investment, intensified by media sensationalism, and fueled by a fandom's collective longing. There is power in a narrative that involves censorship, favoritism, and denied potential. But we must pause. Who benefits from this story being believed? Is it the fans, who are now emotionally invested in a project that may never have existed? Is it the media outlets gaining traffic from speculation-driven headlines? Or is it the ecosystem of content creators on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and elsewhere who rely on virality to sustain influence? As of now, there is no verified documentation confirming that Bang Si Hyuk himself intervened in a Jimin and Jungkook project. There are no official statements, no leaked audio clips, and no insider testimonies that can be objectively authenticated. What we have is a pattern of circumstantial indicators, emotional interpretations, and unverified sources. Should such material be enough to convince us of the existence and subsequent suppression of a monumental comeback? Or are we witnessing a mass psychological phenomenon, the manufacturing of belief through the repetition of suggestion? This is not a dismissal of the fans' emotions. Their yearning is valid. Their attention to detail is admirable. But emotional resonance alone does not equate to factual reality. We must ask, are we interpreting silence as suppression simply because it fits our expectations of injustice? Are we projecting intent onto actions that might have alternative explanations? Could it be that the collaboration was merely discussed, casually explored, and never fully pursued? Not because of sabotage, but due to logistical or personal reasons that remain unknown. It is equally plausible that this narrative serves as a mirror, reflecting our collective fears about transparency, power dynamics, and the erosion of artistic freedom in a corporatized industry. But should fear, no matter how legitimate, guide our perception of truth? Or should it push us toward deeper inquiry? Why do we believe what we believe? Is it because multiple anonymous posts claim consistency in their allegations? Or is it because we want to believe that Jimin and Jungkook were silenced, as that belief gives us a moral cause to rally behind? If there is no demo, no studio leak, and no artist confirmation, why are we so convinced that this was real? Even more disturbingly, are we at risk of reducing these artists to symbols of a narrative we've constructed around them? Have we, in our fervor, stripped Jimin and Jungkook of their agency, assuming they wanted to release something together, and assuming they were prevented by a figure of authority? Might they have made their own decision, based on mutual timing, artistic differences, or simply personal preference? We are not suggesting the story is false, but we are demanding a deeper interrogation. Is it wise to trust unverified viral posts over professional silence? Is it responsible to generate outrage without confirmation? And most importantly, what precedent are we setting when rumors gain more power than truth? The irony in all of this is haunting. A song that might never have existed has managed to dominate discourse more powerfully than some actual releases. Why? Because it fits a compelling emotional narrative of control versus freedom, of artist versus system. of intimacy versus restriction. But when we embrace unverified information as fact, we compromise the very integrity of our advocacy. We risk transforming critical engagement into blind allegiance. It is essential that fans, readers, and industry watchers alike develop a more skeptical lens. In an age where information is weaponized for influence, every post, every video, every claim must be scrutinized. Who said it? Why did they say it? Can it be corroborated? Without verified proof, how much weight should a viral theory carry? Even the most convincing narratives must be tested. Did a source actually come from within hybe? Or is that claim part of the mythos designed to make the theory more seductive? Is Bang Si Hyuk truly the orchestrator of suppression? Or has his silence been turned into a canvas for projection? We invite readers to reflect. If this collaboration was indeed blocked, why has no concrete trace of its development emerged? In a world where content leaks constantly, has something this significant left no digital footprint? Is it really because it was buried? Or is it because it never existed to begin with? These questions are not meant to discredit the fandom, but to empower it. To encourage a culture of informed inquiry rather than emotional reactivity. Passion must be coupled with reason. Loyalty must be balanced with logic. And hope must always be tempered by truth. The lesson here is not about a song that may or may not exist. It is about how we respond to the suggestion of suppression. About how quickly we mobilize behind narratives that flatter our sense of justice, but which may lack substantiation. It is a warning. If we do not interrogate the stories we consume, we become vulnerable to manipulation by platforms, by algorithms, and even by our own expectations. So we ask again, do you truly believe this story is real? Or have we been swept up in the architecture of virality? Whatever your answer, make sure it is one formed through critical reflection, not emotional persuasion. Because in the echo chamber of digital media, where rumors can become headlines and speculation can eclipse truth, the only defense we have is our ability to question, relentlessly, courageously, and without compromise.